Okay, so today's session is about EndNote, and EndNote is a reference management tool which is owned by Clarivate, and my colleague, spoken about has already spoken about EndNote with all of you. So this session is mainly focused at understanding how to use EndNote in your day-to-day research. So I will take you through a short presentation, and then uh, we will go on to the live platform and see how it works. Okay, so here we go with the presentation. Uh, so this slide tells you that the number of papers that are being published uh, is growing each year, right? So we're looking at approximately 3.8 million papers alone that were published in the year 2024, right? And with the almost 49 to 50 cited references that have been used, but that have been that we see in every paper. So you can well imagine that, given the number of cited references in each of these papers, look at the number of hours that have been spent in formatting these references, right? So these are astronomical figures. You can well understand that how much time is being spent, at a simple task like formatting these references, right? So the intention here is to, have a tool which can basically, help you in minimizing your time in these efforts and focusing more on your research. So let's just see what we can do with that. Just a minute. Yeah, there were some issues with the slide. So what we need is, EndNote, which is a reference management tool by Clarivate. You can simplify the research process. You can do some essential tasks with the EndNote. Uh, Along with that, we give you unmatched efficiency. It helps you in saving time. You can stay organized throughout the research stage of your writing process. Uh, and we believe in reliable standards. You can write with confidence, and we also provide you with support. 24 by 7 support is available for everyone who is using EndNote. There is some person around the world, somebody will be there. We have our service centers at various parts of the world. So no matter what time you're using EndNote, there will be somewhere from our support team who will be there to assist you. Okay, so what EndNote gives you is a comprehensive reference management system. You can, of course, reduce your time. You can eliminate thousands of hours gathering references, formatting citations, right? We help you in building better libraries where you can search from hundreds of online references. You can also find the full text of references. We help you in managing the PDFs. You can automate, you can import PDFs in an automated way, or you can custom PDFs. Uh, we help you in formatting references, right? So there are more than 7,000 referencing styles, right? So we help you with that. We recently we've also introduced retraction alert notifications, right? This is quite important. We help you in writing faster. So you can insert in-text citations, you can auto-populate bibliographies, and so on. The recent enhancement also includes, Google Docs. So earlier this used to work with Microsoft Word. Now it also works with Google Docs. You can stay organized. You can sort your references within the library the way you want, right? And it works perfectly well for Android as well as iOS systems. So if you have a Windows machine or you know, an iOS machine, it works perfectly well with that. Uh, you can collaborate and you can publish, you can share your libraries uh, with anyone, of course, and you can also edit permissions. We will talk about this when we get to the live demo. And you can identify the best fit journals. Now, this is a great, introduction to EndNote, where you can actually find a suitable journal for your paper, right? Okay, with that, let's talk about some new features. Now, you can stay, the key updates are, there are a lot of new AI tools that have been introduced in EndNote. Everyone these days is talking about AI, right? And what AI is doing, how it is changing, how it is impacting our lives. Even in research, AI is playing an important role. And within EndNote, we have incorporated AI in a lot of ways. For example, the key takeaways, right? So you don't need to read the whole paper. I know that abstractual information is, gives you an understanding of the paper, but the key takeaways basically is a short summary of the whole paper. So you don't need to read the whole paper. This is completely AI generated, right? And then you can find a journal. Now these other enhancements are coming. AI Research Assistant, actually it's already out, and the AI outline generator. So key takeaways, basically what it is, right? If you look at this paper, you don't need to read the entire paper. This small segment on the right hand side is basically the key takeaway, which tells you in maybe one or two paragraphs what the entire paper is all about, right? So this is a new introduction and it can help you in going through the paper faster and then understanding if it is relevant for you, whether you want to use it in your paper, you want to use it as a reference, etc. So everything becomes so easy if you have this key takeaways. You can find a journal. This is important. Earlier, this was available in the web version. Now we've introduced it in uh, the desktop version as well. So what it does is basically you just need to enter your title and your abstract, and it gives you suitable journals where EndNote thinks are best suited for publishing your paper. Of course, with the various metrics like the impact factor, the match score, etc., which helps you in taking better and informed decisions. Yeah. Okay, so moving on, the summary panel has been redesigned. If you see this layout, you can decide how you want to see the summary panel. Depends on what are your preferences. You can easily decide on that. Yeah. Okay. And then here we have Web of Science citing articles and related records where you can actually decide uh, if the reference has been imported from Web of Science. You can actually see that article directly from Web of Science. The only condition is that you should have a parallel Web of Science subscription. Yeah. Okay. Um, Find reference updates and full text improvements. Again, this is another enhancement that you see on the latest version of EndNote. Yeah. So why choose EndNote? So now that you've seen all the various enhancements and what EndNote does for you, this is this is just emphasizing the fact that why should we be using EndNote? What makes our AI what makes our AI academic? So basically, we have embedded AI in a lot of places within EndNote, right? Gives you delivers trusted content, ensures security. We give you proper attribution, and so many other enhancements that you will find here. Okay. So EndNote for students and research teams. How does EndNote help a student? Basically, saves time and stays organized. So there are among the hundreds and thousands of references that you may have in your library. EndNote helps you in saving time by keeping you organized, right? In the absence of EndNote, generally researchers tend to save their full text PDFs in folders within their systems. EndNote allows you to import those references in PDFs into your EndNote library, which is completely maintained on the cloud. So the one benefit that I outrightly see is that you're saving on the memory space of your system, right? You don't need to save it anywhere because there's always a risk of your system getting corrupted, crashing. You might lose your laptop. Things like that may happen, right? Here, everything is saved on the cloud, so there's no threat to whatever you've saved. And of course, you can stay organized, you can maintain accuracy and compliance, you can collaborate more effectively, right? And then, of course, there's 24 by 7 support. So these are some, citations that we received from our valued customers. You can see, of course, due to security reasons, we could not give their names and their details, but people feel that this has been the best version yet. It gives you great experience, and it's so easy to use, right? Okay. Now, how does EndNote 2025 compare with the previous versions? Let's have a look at that. Okay. So the one thing that you outrightly see here is the AI experience, right? If you compare EndNote 2025 with EndNote 21 and even with EndNote 20, the AI experience is completely missing in the previous versions. The latest version has a lot of AI enhancements, as you can see. Of course, there are other variations within, essential functionality and premium integrations, which you can see, but then this is the most superior version yet. Yeah. And how does it compare with other solutions, right? There are a lot of open software. Not like to name them, but then again, uh, AI completely stands out. The AI experience stands out, and of course, there are other functionalities also uh, which are there within EndNote. Here, I would also like to point out, apart from AI, if you look at the essential functionality and you look at the cloud storage, here we give you unlimited storage, whereas within other open software, source softwares, uh, you know, you do not get unlimited memory maximum. Some softwares claim that they give you 300 MB and some give you even more, but then none of them gives you unlimited memory space. We do, right? So you don't need to worry about the number of references you're having in your EndNote account, in your library. You can import as many references as you want freely, right? You can manage them within various groups. We will talk about groups a little later. Okay. And how does it compare with other EndNote options? For example, we have the EndNote Web, right, which comes with EndNote 2025. We have EndNote Web that came with EndNote 21, and the online version, which comes free with, the Web of Science subscription. So again, you can see that there's a lot of enhancements, a lot of, you get a better experience with EndNote 2025. Okay. So this is something that I want to highlight, and this is something you will need on a daily basis. If you're a regular user of EndNote, there's a learning portal that we provided. This is absolutely free of cost, by the way, and I will show you where to find it, where you can actually get, you can get a lot of videos, you can get a lot of support. You also get webinars that we've conducted in the past. You can view those webinars. The webinars that we may conduct in the future, you can register for them depending on your time zone and the language you prefer. You can register for them and you can attend those webinars. So all of this can happen. It is through a self-learning guide. Then there are more than 7,500 bibliographic styles, 7,500 as you can see, right? And then of course there's technical support. You can reach out to us at any time. So with that, I'll end my presentation here, and very quickly, I will move on to the live demo. Let me open up the latest version of EndNote. This is called EndNote 2025. Okay. Now, what we see here is the desktop version of EndNote 2025. It's basically divided into various panels, as you can see. What are these panels? I'll talk about that a little later. Actually, I'll talk about it right now. Okay, so what you see is that the screen is divided in three major parts or three major segments, right? We have this ribbon at the top. We refer to this as a ribbon. Okay, I'll tell you what this is. But then if you look at the screen, basically, this is one segment of the screen, the extreme left. Then we have this portion in the middle, and then this portion on the extreme right. So these are the three segments. You can, of course, change the layout the way you want. So this is what I was showing in the presentation. This is split vertically. You can split horizontally also. Let me show you how this looks. So this is how it looks. This is the portion on the extreme left remains the same, and then the two other segments can be changed like this. Yeah. If I want, I can go back to, I actually prefer the vertical split. So I'm going to go back to the earlier setting. And of course, you can look at other settings also. Yeah. All right. So now let's talk about each of these things one by one. Let's look at this ribbon first of all. We have file, edit, references, groups, tags, library, etc. So what do we mean by all of this? Let's look at file. So you can create a new library, you can open your libraries that you've already created, you can open shared libraries, etc. So this is the file section. In edit, you've got all these options, then within references and groups and so on. I'll talk about all of these as we proceed in the session. Let's quickly talk about uh, this segment on the extreme left. Now, references. What exactly do we mean by references? These are nothing but papers that I have imported from other sources, right? So the source could be Web of Science if you already have subscription. If you do not, no worries. You can import papers from other sources also. Sources like Google Scholar, Springer Link, Science Direct, etc. You can get it from anywhere, right? Uh, the moment these papers come into EndNote, we start calling them references. Now, all references is basically a place where you will find all of them together, right? So this is a pool where all the references can be seen together. Then we have retractions, recently added, unfiled. I'll tell you what unfiled is a little later. First, let's look at groups. Now, what exactly do we mean by groups? You save these reference now in the absence of EndNote, or if you are not using any other reference management tool, then how people used to save these full text PDFs? Normally, people save PDFs in their laptops in various folders, right? Within EndNote, we don't call them folders, we call them groups. So these are various groups, and I can allocate papers or references to these groups. I can create groups, give them any name, and I can allocate references to these groups. So all you need to do is just go here to groups, and there are three types of groups as you see here. Create group, create smart groups, and create from groups. Let's go one by one. So let me say create group. So what do we mean by this? Let's click on this once. Okay, create group. Here, this new group, this has nothing here, right? No references. I can first of all change the name. Now, if I'm a researcher, I could be working on 2 or 3 different research topics at the same time. So depending on my research interest, I can give it any name. I just need to right click and then rename the group. Let's rename it and give it any specific name. For example, if I'm working on, let's say, uh, engines, or let's say nanotubes. So if I'm a researcher working on nanotubes, then I can give it a name like this, nanotubes. Yeah. And if I have any papers related to nanotubes, I can allocate those papers or those references to this particular group. So the idea here is you can give it any name. I can give it any name I want, depending on my research interest. So engine, let me go with nano. Okay. So that's nano. And I go to all references. This is a place where all my references exist. I can look at all this, and the number is 632, as you can see. So there are 632 references. I will tell you how to get these references in a bit, but first let's look at these references. Now that we are talking about this group nano, how can I allocate papers to this particular group? Look at these references. Suppose I like this paper and I feel that this paper, or maybe this paper belongs to nanos. It is somewhat related to nanotechnology or nanotubes, etc. So I just need to click on this paper and drag and drop. So while I'm clicking on this paper with my mouse, I can just bring it and drop it here to nano. And the moment I do that, you see this one here. So this paper, attribution of sub-seasonal temperature, something. If I go to nano, you can see the same paper reflecting here, right? So this is how you create groups and how you allocate these references to various groups. And the total number remains the same. Now, if you see there are so many groups here, right? And there are so many references allocated to each of these groups. Now, the references which I did not allocate to any of these groups will remain in unfiled. These are the references that do not belong to any group. Let me click on unfiled. These are 607 references, and let me allocate some of the references from here. Let me allocate this to a particular group. Okay, so I click on this and I'm going to take it to nano, dragging and dropping like this. This becomes 2, and this was earlier 607. It has come down to 606. As you can see, okay, so let's try one more time. Okay, let's go to groups and click on smart group. The first thing that you notice is it is asking me to give it any name. Just in order to differentiate it from other groups, I will use the word smart just to for this is for my reference, this is for my understanding that this is a smart group. Okay, and let me give it the same name, smart nano. Right now, let's look at the instructions. If I want, I can allocate references to this particular group on the basis of author names. So here there's a drop down, it says author. If the author name contains, let us say, I can give it any name, for example, Lee. If the author name contains the word Lee, then all those papers where this name appears, those papers will get allocated to this particular group. Okay, I can give some other instructions also. For example, there's a drop down, you can see I can look at author, first name, year, title, etc. Yeah. So let me just see. Okay, keywords are also there. So I want to allocate references to this group based on keywords. So let's go with keyword and let me see if there's any paper related to, let's say, building, for example. Now, this is just a very simple and rudimentary example. You can use any other word. For example, if you're working on a virus, you can use a virus. So what it will do is it will look for the keyword of virus within all the papers, within all these 632 references that you see in my library. EndNote is going to look for the keyword of virus, and if it finds those papers will automatically be allocated to this particular group. Let me show you how. Of course, you can use other conditions. For example, you can use these operators and or and not, depending on your choice. And then, of course, you can give other instructions also, right? But now, I will just proceed like this. Let me go with create and see what happens. Okay, do you see this smart nano? And there's 6 here. It means EndNote has found 6 references out of these 632. It has found 6 references where the keyword of virus is appearing somewhere within the paper. Yeah. So these are those 6 papers. Okay. So I did not have to give any instruction. I did not have to, sorry, I did not have to drag and drop. Just this instruction is sufficient and the papers are automatically allocated. Now, let's just say that if I bring new papers or new references into my library in the future, this instruction will still remain. So if I bring a new paper where the word virus appears anywhere within that reference, that paper will automatically be allocated to this particular group. So this 6 will then become 7 and so on, right? So this is something that saves you a lot of time. And in this instruction, remains on EndNote forever unless you change it. Of course, you can change it like this. Just do a right click and you can edit the group. Go here, edit, and you can change whatever instruction you want. If you want to add one more row, you can add it like this and so on. Yeah. And of course, you can remove the rows also like this. Okay. So having said that, we come to the third type of a group. It's called from groups. This you can create this type of group only when you have a substantial number of groups already existing. As in this case, in my case, I've already created so many groups, right? Okay. Uh, Let me delete this group. Okay. Now, now that I have so many groups here, as you can see, I can now combine these groups, right? How do I combine these groups? It's very easy. This combination kind of a group is required to find the correlation. For example, if you are working on, let's say, a virus, and then you're also working on COVID at the same time, we all know that COVID is a virus, right? So if you want to find papers where the word COVID and virus appears in the same paper, right? You want to find some kind of correlation in that. You can actually do that by combining groups. For that, you need different groups, one group on virus, another group on COVID, and you can just combine the groups. For example, go here and create from groups. When you click on this, again, it says you need to give it any name. Okay. From uh, so I'm just saying from malaria and COVID. So this is just for my reference. I'm giving a name to this group, and the name itself tells you what this group is all about, right? So you should also try to give name the groups so that you understand what is there within the group. And then it says select a group here, and then there's a drop down. It means this is going to display group names to me. And what names? The names that are there already in my library. So here you see the same names that you see here on the left hand side. I want to combine these. So there's a group called malaria, and then let me use and operator, and there's a group on, I believe, COVID as well. Okay. I'm going to combine these two, and let's see, are there any papers where these two keywords appear within the paper? Let's just create and find out. Okay. There's nothing. Yeah. I can actually uh, change the instruction. I can edit the group and I can make it or. Let's just see what happens. Suddenly there are 21 references. So there is no overlap. There are papers with COVID and there are papers with malaria, but in a single paper, they don't occur together, right? So within my library, I do not find any correlation, right? But of course, you can actually do that. Let me try this with virus. Is there any group called virus? I don't think so. Okay, but the idea was to give you an overview of how these groups work. Okay, now, since I've been talking about groups, actually I should have mentioned this in the beginning. How do you create a library? Because as a new user, when you have an EndNote account, there will be no references, right? This will be zero. This 632 that you see here will be zero. So how do you get these references in the first place? That is the first question. So let's answer that. You need to get references to be able to use EndNote in the first place. So how do you get those references? I know that your university does not have an existing subscription of Web of Science, but in case you do, actually, I just want to show you. I understand that it's not there in your university, but just a minute. This is actually creating a problem. I'm just stopping my share for a minute because it's not allowing me to open up a new window. Let me open up the window and then I'll share my screen again. Okay. I'm going to share my screen again now. Just give me a minute. All right. Yeah, here we are. So let's share one more time. I hope my screen is visible again to all of you. I'm sorry I had to stop sharing simply because, it was not allowing me to open up a new window. Anyways, yeah. So what you see here on the screen is Web of Science, right? So I've opened up Web of Science. I can do a quick search here. I'm just doing a search on nanotubes. And let's just say that if I like this particular paper, right, I can read this paper. And if I like this paper, I can take it to EndNote. You can click on this and then you can go to export. Now, there are two versions of EndNote. Yeah, we have the online version and the desktop version. Since we are talking about desktop right now, let me click on desktop. So I'm giving an instruction here that this paper should be taken to my EndNote desktop account. I've selected one reference. You can select all references on this page of Web of Science, or you can use the third option of choosing a maximum of 1000 references. The first 1000 will be chosen in that case, right? But I'm choosing only one. You can decide what content you want to export. There's a drop down here. You can decide what content you're exporting, or the title source, or the abstract, full record with references, or you can choose what information you want to export. By clicking on edit, I'll show you this. The items which you see are selected are being exported. This information is being captured and exported to EndNote, right? You can, of course, change anything here and then save your selections. I'm not making any change for the moment. I'm just going to click on export. Export is completed. Okay, let's click on this. Okay, it says importing. Do you see that? Okay, imported reference. This is the paper, study on the preparation and whatever. So you can cross check. This is the same paper, study on the preparation and photocatalysis performance. The same paper has now come into my EndNote account. Yeah. And this was earlier 632. Now this has become 633. It has been increased by 1, right? So that's how you bring references into EndNote from Web of Science. Now I will show you how to bring references from other sources. For example, Google Scholar or any other option, right? You can actually go to your desktop, create a folder, a new folder. I'm just going to create a new folder and I'm going to give it any name. For example, I'm giving it the name Thailand, right? Yeah, and just placing it here for better visibility. Now, whether I go to Google Scholar or Springer Link or any other platform, if I like a particular paper, I can download that paper in PDF and I can bring that paper into this single folder. Many researchers save a lot of PDF papers within their laptops, right, or within their hard disk or pen drives, etc. So a typical researcher will have many full text papers saved within their laptop. What I would recommend is that's a very risky thing to do because your laptop can crash. You can lose your laptop. Anything can happen to it, and all your references will be lost. So if you have EndNote 2025, the one thing that you know is you're getting unlimited memory space. And the advantage that you have here is you can bring all those references that you have saved on your laptop, or the references that you have from other sources like Google Scholar and or any other platform. You can bring all those papers into this single folder, right? And now whatever I can bring these papers contained within this folder in one shot. I can bring it to EndNote. I'll show you how. Remember this folder of Thailand. Let us assume that it has a lot of papers within this folder, right? A lot of PDF files are there in this folder. Just assume that. Now I'm going back to EndNote, and let's go here, File, and Import. Within Import, click on Folder, and you can browse, and we know that there's a folder called Thailand on the desktop. Here it is, Thailand. You can select this, and you can click on OK. The moment you do that, all the papers contained within this single folder will come on. I'm not proceeding because I know this is empty, but if you proceed like that, everything in that folder that you see will come to EndNote account, right? So EndNote does not differentiate between PDFs, whether they are from Web of Science or from Google Scholar or Springerlink or Science Direct or any other platform. EndNote does not care. You can even download book chapters, right, from any online book. So you're free to do that, and you can bring it to EndNote. Now, I hope you understand how you have created this library. Now, let's look at other things within EndNote. Okay, uh, I've already spoken about groups. Now, let's just look at these three portions here, right? I'm at all references right now. What you see in the middle section is these references. Now, these references are arranged. That is why we call it a reference management tool, because it is managing these references. And how are these references being managed? Now, these are basically papers. We all know that, right? Uh, EndNote, because of AI, is able to understand where in the paper are the author names written. It captures those names and displays the author names like this, right? Do you see these author names under author? So this is automatically done. It also captures the year, the title of the paper, and so on. There's so much of information that already gets captured. The title of the paper is given. The journal's name is also captured. Where is this paper coming from? From which journal? The journal's name is also captured and shown here, right? And other things. Last updated. What kind of a reference is this, right? Is this a journal article? And by the way, there's a setting option here. Let's click on this and see what happens. So you can decide what display fields you want to capture, right? For example, the title is being captured, author name is being captured, year is being captured, right? Last updated and reference type. You can also choose other options from here, right? Whatever option you choose or you change. For example, there's so many things that you can decide. Yeah. And you need to click on apply if you make any changes. Since I'm not making any changes for the moment, I'm not going to click on anything, but this was just for letting you know. Okay. So this is why we call it a reference management tool, because all the references are managed systematically. Okay, let's click on one of these references. Let's click on this. The moment you click on anything here, see there's a change in the right hand side. So what do we see on the right? It's the details of this particular reference. There are three options here: summary, edit, and PDF. Let's go to summary. See how the summary changes. Each time I click on a different reference, the summary is changing. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at this. Here the title is being captured, author names, and all the other details, including abstractual information. Now here you will find attach file. What does this mean? You can attach anything with this particular reference. For example, if you are a researcher who's working on this topic, this paper is related to your research area, and you want that, suppose you have done some calculation, something important has already been done, and if that calculation exists on an Excel spreadsheet, you can go here and you can attach that Excel spreadsheet. Just go here and click on browse. This is your own laptop. You can decide where is that spreadsheet located. Is it there in the desktop or in the documents? You can select documents and then you can proceed, right? So basically, it allows you to attach anything. It could be an Excel spreadsheet, it could even be a presentation or anything at all, right? Okay, I'll tell you about manage tags a little later. And then here, this is what I was talking about, the enhancement, right? We capture everything, including the DOI, and then this is the enhancement. This paper has come from Web of Science. This is the article, related records, and citing articles. If I click on this, it will directly take me to the Web of Science platform and display this article for me. Of course, this will only work if you have a parallel Web of Science subscription, right? Okay, then let's look at edit. What do we have here? Manage tags. Okay, you can manage a tag here. There are different tags that I've already created. I said I'll talk about the tags a little later. Let's look at reference type. Now, this is basically a journal article. So there's a drop down here. This journal article is right here. It's selected, right? Suppose you download something from a book, right? So you can actually choose that book, or maybe just a portion of the book. So you can select book section. So if this download has come from a book, you can select book. You can select a chart or table, anything. So whatever information you have on your EndNote account, wherever whatever it is, you can select that accordingly. If it's a case, you can allocate this as a case, right? So, but by default, journal article will be selected. Okay, and then the all the other information gets captured like this. Yeah. Okay. Then you have PDF. So obviously this paper does not have a PDF attached. I can tell you why. I can simply look at this option here, this uh, pin attachment symbol here, right? If there's nothing here, it means there's no full text. Let me show you how it looks in case of a full text. Okay, here there's a pin option. So let's select this particular reference. See, this is how the PDF looks. The PDF is right there, right? So just by looking at this reference and this portion, I can say that there's a PDF attached or there's no PDF. If I want to look at this PDF, I just need to click on this and it will open up in a new window like this. Okay, it's done. Yeah. So just see how this works, right? Remember what I told you about key takeaways? Now, I don't need to read the whole paper. Look at this from 1 to 8. This paper is 8 pages long, right? This review basically is 8 pages. I don't have time to read those 8 pages, right? This key takeaway basically gives me everything in a summary form. And this is all AI generated from PDF, right? AI generated content. So we clear that, we specify that, and if you want, you can basically copy this and you can paste this summary somewhere if you want, right? So understanding the role of toll-like report receptors, TLRs in Zika virus, and so on. And then this is additional topics discussed, and this is a summary. Of course, you can remove this at any stage. Yep. Or if you want, you can bring this up just by clicking on these 3 little stars, right? So these little stars means the research assistant, which basically brings you the key takeaways. Yeah. Okay. Now we have this PDF in front of us. You can do a lot of things with this PDF. For example, you can annotate, you can do a lot of things. I'll just show you how this works. And then you can edit this PDF as well. You can do a lot of things here. The same thing that we've seen previously. You can manage tags, you can do change the reference type, etc. Okay, I don't want to edit. Let me just go back to PDFs. Okay, let's click on this markup and annotations. How do we do that? See, this is the PDF. Now, as we know, generally PDFs are not editable. So I'm just going through the PDF. Suppose I'm a researcher, I'm reading something, and I find something of importance, let's say somewhere here. So I can actually, highlight text. So just click on highlight, and now you can highlight anything. Suppose this is something of interest to me, right? And this entire paragraph is of interest. So I've selected the entire thing, and now when I click outside, it is selected and highlighted in yellow color, right? Now I can go back and I can basically share this with anyone. So how do we share? You can just, before sharing, I can even add a sticky note here. I hope you understand what are sticky notes. Those sticky notes which you can paste on anything and there's no glue remaining if you take it off. Similarly, there's a sticky note here as well. You can add a sticky note here. So you click on this and you click anywhere on the screen like this, there's a little bubble that appears. Double click on the bubble and then there's a comment section that opens up. This is free text. You can type anything here. So I'm just going to type important for my research, right? This is a comment, or maybe I can just say for my student. Suppose this paper is related to my student, right? So I can just put this comment here for my student, and I can just say, see see highlighted text on page 2, because the person that I'm going to share this paper with, that person may not have the patience to scroll to page 2. He may just, there's some problem with my highlights on. If you can put these kind of notes and you can then share it with anyone from here, and that person will receive your content, and they will receive this paper, and they will be able to see this message just by double clicking on this. So basically it allows you to share as well. Okay, now that we've made some changes, what I mean by changes is, by we all know that we've highlighted some text here, and we've put in a message here in the form of a sticky note. So these are basically changes. So you should ideally be saving it. So let's just save it. Save changes to this PDF. As you can see, it's changing. It's saving, sorry. And now I can basically close this. So when you close this, you come back to your original screen. Okay. You can actually find anything based on this search option here. I'll talk about this a little later. First, let's look at other interesting things within within EndNote. So I've already spoken about this in my groups, etc. Okay, time to talk about my tags. What are these tags, right? Again, these are simple tools that we provide so that you can manage your library better. So as you can see, I have added some tags here. Let me go back. Let me show you. I did allocate some tags. Okay, I'll do it right now in front of you. Let's look at the group which I just created in front of you, this nano. There are just two references here. Yeah. Let me select the first one, or maybe let's do it for the second one because it has a PDF attached to it. So if I want, I can allocate any tag to it, right? Tag would mean additional information. So I just need to get rid of this. It's basically blocking my options here. Okay, yeah, here we go. So you can select your particular reference and then go to tags. Here you need to create a tag first of all. So there are many colors. You can choose any color color for your reference. So let me go with, let's say, green. Let me go with green, or let's go with blue. I like blue. So let's go with blue and give it any name. I have to give it a name. So let me call it nano, and let me create a tag. So first you have to create a tag. It's just as simple as saying that I'm printing a tag. So here these are my tags. One tag is on engine in orange color, another tag in blue color for nano, another tag in red with no name. I can actually give it a name also. But let me go with this nano, right? It's with blue color. So I can select any reference from these groups. So let's go to this particular group and I'm selecting the second reference. I can tag it. So just go here and click on, just right click and go to manage tags. And these tags, available tags, engine, nano, and then there's something called new tag. I have not given any name. Let me go with nano and let's click on OK. So as you can see, this blue tag has been given to this particular paper. Yeah, this basically is helpful. You can decide what kind of tags you want to create. For example, this new tag, let me give it a name. Uh, let's say if I'm a research guide, I have many students who are doing research under me, under my guidance. So I have decided that I will, every paper that I see which is useful for my students, I will mark it with red color. I will give it a red tag, right? So let's just go here. For example, all the references within 633 references. Let's just say that there are many references here which could be useful for my students. So I can basically start marking them, right? For example, if I feel that the second reference, this paper is useful for my student, right? Let me right click and go to manage tags and click on for my students. Let me give this tag, right? So now without even, you know, if I open up my EndNote account, let's say 1 month later, without even having to read the paper, the moment I look at my tags, I understand that, okay, this is for my student and this one is on nano, right? So you can give it various tags. For example, if this third paper is on, let's say, engines, I can give it a tag on engine like this. See? So without having to e-resources that are available. Yeah? So you can now look at this and you can see which resource you are subscribing to. You're subscribing to which resource, right? You can see all of them are in alphabetical order. I'm looking at this column right now. Yeah. Suppose you subscribe to this one, Environmental Index by EBSCO. Suppose this is something that is already subscribed by your university. You can select this resource and click on choose, right? This resource will then start appearing in this space here, over here. So EndNote allows you to add the resources which are being subscribed by your institution, right? I've already chosen Web of Science Core Collection. Obviously, you do have access, so I will not click this. PubMed is a free resource. You can, it is just like Google. Anyone can access PubMed. So I've already added PubMed here. If I'll take the example of PubMed and I'll show you how it works. Let's just click here, PubMed. The moment you click on this, now EndNote start behaving as the PubMed platform, right? How does it work? Let me. It is now going to work just like PubMed. So on PubMed, perform various searches, right? Right now, it is asking you to perform on the basis of an author name, right? I do not want to start my search by author names. I want to search by, let's say, there are various options here. Let me start search through titles. Okay, the title should contain uh, the title should contain virus. So the title of the paper should contain virus. I want to pick up all such papers where virus appears within the title, right? So contain, this is okay. If I hit search, If you do a parallel search on PubMed, it will give you exactly the same result that you will find here. So let's do a search. Although I'm on EndNote platform, it's as if I'm searching the PubMed platform. Here it is search, and I've got these many results, 407141 results on virus. These are the papers available on PubMed if you use virus as a keyword within the title section. Okay. Now, I want to pick up some papers from here. So I can select these papers. So these are those papers which I imported in front of you. Yeah. So let's just select all of them. All of them are selected. Now I will show you one more benefit of having EndNote 2025. Find full text. Let's click on this. Select all these references. Now, if I click on find full text, you will see some real time. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. It's not working. Just a minute. Let me just select everything. Okay, find full text is right here. Search and you come across the same paper again. Without realizing, you export that paper again into EndNote. What you're doing, you're basically creating duplicates. Now, this is a very common thing that people do, and this is completely unintentional. People do this by mistake. They don't do it on purpose. It happens, right? We get duplicates. So there is a way on EndNote that you can eliminate those duplicates, right? You don't want to use your memory space just by having duplicates in your account. You can actually find duplicates and you can remove them. How it is done? For that purpose, I've actually created a duplicate in front of you. So these two are duplicate papers. And in one of the papers, I've made one change. As you can see, I've given this option of under label section, I've said useful paper in this case. In the first one, the label section is empty. Now, let me go to, let me show you the feature where you can find those duplicates. So the duplicates exist in the library, right? We call this a library. So let's go to library and let's see. These are various options. Here you will see find duplicates. It will not only find the duplicate, it will also highlight the portion which is different within those two duplicates. I will show you how this works. Let's click. Okay. See, it has found the duplicates. So these are the duplicate papers. Look at the name here. This portion and this portion is exactly the same. The abstract is the same. The only difference that is existing is in the label section. This is blank and this is useful paper. So it depends on what you want. You can either keep this reference, click here. If you want this, click here. Or if you want this one, click here, keep this reference, right? Whatever you click, the other one gets deleted automatically. So because this has a useful note here, it has a label. So let me keep this one, keep this reference, right? If I click on this, the other one will get deleted. So basically the duplicate will be removed. So let me keep this one. Okay. Now you see there's only one remaining where you have in the edit section, you have label useful paper, right? So this is what I was talking about as far as duplicates is concerned. Now this is a periodic exercise that you should be doing, right? It is just like maintenance. You should maintain your account and you should do this maintenance exercise, let's say maybe once or twice every week. Yeah, this will eliminate all the duplicates that you may have in your EndNote library. Okay, now let's talk of one more important thing that you can do with EndNote here. Uh, when you install EndNote on your system, right? There's something called Cite while you write. The plugin automatically gets installed along with this software. So where is that plugin? The plugin exists on a Word file. So let me open up a simple Word file and I'll tell you what the plugin is and what it can do for you. Yeah. So this is a simple Microsoft Word file in front of you. It's completely blank. I've opened up a new file. Yeah. Now, what is different in this? I'll tell you. See, when you install your EndNote desktop onto your laptop, right? It will also install something in your Word file. This is the Word file, and these are the regular options that you see here. This is called a ribbon. So within the ribbon, these are the regular options that you're all familiar with up until help. This is a new option, EndNote 2025. This option will now start appearing. It is just an addition to your EndNote. We are not addition to your Word file. We are not changing Word. This is just the addition. Okay. Now, how does this work? Suppose you're writing a paper. Yeah. What happens? You click here and let's just first write a paper. Okay. Very quickly, I'm about to write something. Now, forget what I've written. Don't worry about the text of the paper. This is auto-generated, right? What I want to highlight here is that I have written only 2 paragraphs. I have not written my complete paper. Now, with this information, I can start inserting citations and references. Generally, people write the entire paper and then they start inserting citations and references. We do not recommend that because once you complete writing your entire paper, you may forget that where were the references used, what are the citations, etc. So the latest practice that people follow is that they start inserting citations and references when they start writing the paper itself, right? Don't wait till you complete the whole paper. So for example, I've written only 2 paragraphs now, right? I've just started writing my paper. At this stage, I should start inserting citations and references. And again, let me tell you, there is a lot of AI involvement here. The rule that you need to remember is the position of your cursor. The cursor should be placed at the right point, and that is where the citation will appear. Citation and reference. Okay. So you will see how it works. Let me place the cursor in the first line just before the word powerful. If I do that, now the citation will appear at this point. Now, all you need to do is go to EndNote 2025. This is Word. Remember, I'm working on Word right now. Go to EndNote 25 like this. Make sure instant formatting is on. There are 2 options, on and off. By default, off option will be selected. You need to go here and click on on. In my case, I've already done that. Before the start of the session, I actually did this. Now it is instant formatting is on. Now the cursor is placed here. All I need to do is go to this magnifying glass and click. Now this little window will open up and it will display all these references from my EndNote account, my EndNote library. In your case, this little window will open, but it will be completely blank. You know why? Because there's nothing here. You need to type a keyword here. For example, I have a few papers on engine. So I'm typing the keyword engine and I'm clicking on find. It will find and display the papers where engine appears as a keyword. So in all these papers you see, these are all papers from my EndNote library, and here engine appears as a keyword, right? So please use this space and click enter a keyword and click on find. Now click on that paper, For example, if this is the paper that I want to use, the third one, I'm clicking on this and click on insert. See what happens. Two things have happened here. One, a citation has appeared where the cursor was placed. And two, a reference has been typed for you automatically. Do you see this? Right. Now, how about this? I want to insert more citations and references. Let me place the cursor at the right point. For example, here in the second paragraph, this is where I want the citation to appear. Okay, let's try one more time. Click on the magnifying glass. This time I'm going to insert multiple citations. So I'm going to click on this one. One, use the control key on your keyboard and then select more references. So this is 2 and this is 3. So 3 references have been selected. Click on insert. See what happens. It says 2 to 4 and this has been typed automatically for me. Do you see that? From here to here. So this is something that happens automatically. Now you can continue typing the rest of your paper. Remember, I had written only 2 paragraphs. You can write more, you can write the remaining paper here, right? For example, see, I have written more papers, another 2 paragraphs. What happened when I wrote something here? This entire reference section has been pushed downwards, right? And there is some space left. You can keep typing here like this, whatever you want to type, right? And hit enter. As you keep doing this, this reference section will keep getting pushed down. So you will realize that by the time you finish writing your paper, your bibliography at the end of your paper is already created. So this is nothing but your bibliography, right? Okay. Now I'll just remove all of this so that you can see everything happening in the same page. All right. Once I complete writing the paper, I realize that hey, I made a mistake. I have inserted the third reference by mistake. This should not have been there. How do I remove this? Well, it's very simple. Go here to edit and manage citations. Click. This is the first citation, second, third, and fourth. So I want to remove number 3. So select number 3 here. Go to edit reference, remove citation. Remove like this. So what was earlier at number 4 has now come up to number 3. Do you see that? I click on OK. If you remember, this was 2 to 4. Now this is 2 to 3 only, right? And these are 1, 2, 3. So what was earlier at 4 has now come up to number 3. This numbering is also rearranged automatically. I did not have to do anything here, right? So this is very simple, editing and managing. Now the last step here is changing the style. Depending on the journal where you want to submit your paper, you can actually change the style. Suppose the journal say that, hey, we want the Chicago style or the MLA style or the APA style. So if they say we want APA 6th, no problem. Go here to style and there's a drop down here. Just the way you change the font of your paper. I hope all of you understand this. This is Microsoft Word. You can change the font very easily by going to home. Okay. You can go to home like this and you can change the font from here. It's so easy to change the font, right? Similarly, within the plugin, we don't call it font, we call it style. You can change the style very easily by going here and selecting whatever style you want, right? Okay. So For example, if I want the APA 7th style, I can just select APA 7th by clicking here. When I do that, two things have happened. One, the citation has automatically changed to APA 7th, and two, the reference has also changed to APA 7th. I did not have to do this. It happened automatically, right? Similarly, if the journal wants, let's say, Chicago, here is Chicago 17th, right? See, everything is changing automatically. If they say we want Vancouver style, this is Vancouver. Let's go with Vancouver. See, the numbering has changed, the style has changed basically. It's now reflecting in a different style, right? You want to go with, you want to go with author date style. Here it is, author date style. This is author date, right? Please note that the basic font of your paper does not change. It does not get impacted. The only thing that is changing is the citation and the reference. These two things are changing, not the basic font. Okay, so I'm going back to IEEE style like this. See? So it's so simple. So what I would recommend is whatever style you choose a numbered style like IEEE or even the Chicago is no, not Chicago. I think it's Vancouver. Let me try. Yeah, Vancouver. So these Vancouver IEEE, these are basically styles based on numbers, right? So let me go to IEEE and I'll show you what I mean to say. Let's say I'm using the IEEE style, right? These are numbers. Suppose you have 100 references in your paper. From those 100 references, the 40, uh, maybe 57th reference is what you do not want. You can change it, right? So you can go here, you can change whatever you want, make changes, remove, edit, whatever you want. So you will see that the numbers are changing here. Once you click on OK, numbers will change. So you know that whatever change you wanted to do, it has taken effect. After that, once you've made all the edits and all the changes, the final step should be changing to the style that the journal wants. If the journal wants, let's say, annotated, go to annotated, or maybe just any other style that the journal is asking for. As a new user, this drop down will have nothing. You will not be able to see anything here. In that case, what do? There's only one option, select another style. Click here and we will display all the styles for you. For example, in my case, it says 7637 styles. So these are all the styles arranged alphabetically. Look at the name. As long as you know the name of the style that you want, you should be able to find it here. Scroll down. Because it is alphabetically arranged, you should be able to find it, right? Suppose I'm going to look for one of the APA styles, MNOP. Okay, suppose I'm looking for, let's say, APA 6th and, full name. If this is the style I was looking for, I found it. I just need to click on OK. Once I click on OK, this, if I'm looking for, once I click on OK, this will start appearing in the drop down list. If I'm looking for MLA, just go to MLA style, IJKLMMJ. Okay. Okay, this is MLA style. See, there's so many MLAs here. MLA 8th, MLA 9th. If I want MLA 9th, I can click on this one. I just need to click on OK and see what happens. MLA 9th now starts appearing in my drop down, right? And I can select this and now everything has changed to MLA 9th, right? It's as simple as that. Okay. You can even check before the submission of your paper, you can even do a pre-submission check. We have an agreement with our partner, pre-flight. You can go there, you can click, and it will take you to a new website. You can upload for a free check. We are collaborating with PaperPal Pre-Flight for authors, right? You can see how it works. There's a video here. It says watch how it works, and you can upload for a free check. Of course, this is not a free service, so it will definitely at some point it will ask you for uh, you know uh, some amount, which you decide whether you are okay with it or not. But this is just for your reference, and this is just a new thing that I wanted to talk about. Okay, let's just go back to our word. Okay, this is what I was talking about. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is, now that you understood this, the last thing I'll be talking about is the uh, finding a journal. Suppose you're a researcher who is in the process of writing a paper. Suppose your paper is already written, right? Okay, now what do? You need to basically submit your paper to a journal. Which journal should you choose? That is the big question. We will help you. This is a Word file. Like I said, we made some changes to your Word. So go here, go to references, and then there's an addition of EndNote which is available. You can go to the file section and you can add it on your own. Here, EndNote, let's go to EndNote. Okay. These are the three lines here that you see. Okay. Let's click on this. And then there's an option of find a journal. Let's click on find a journal. Okay, for relevant reputable journals for potential publication, you need to do this. From We will analyze from many journals, from the hundreds and thousands journals which are already indexed in the Web of Science core collection. So from those list of journals, we will recommend you some journals which are most suitable for your paper. In order to do that, you need to give us your title and your abstract. These are the two things we need from you as inputs. Okay. We will never ask you for your full text. So you need to enter these two things. If your paper is ready for publication, if it is complete in all respects, then your paper will definitely have a title. It will definitely have an abstract. Just copy paste the title and the abstract here. Okay. Okay, as an example, I have already saved something for you. Let me just quickly go there. All right. So I have just a minute. So I have a paper with me. You can actually copy paste the title just the way I'm doing it. This is just as an example. Please uh, use it as an example. Okay. So I'm just copy pasting the title here, and then the abstract. I'll copy paste the abstract as well. Yeah. So this is the abstract. It says approximately 100 words, so I'll not copy the entire thing. I'll just copy this much, and I'm pasting it here. It says, okay, it says enter at least 100 words, right? So I've entered my abstract here. Now, the only thing I need to do is click on find a journal. The title and the abstract have been entered here. Click. All right. So what do we see here? 7 journals found. Yeah. So it is giving me 7 options where EndNote thinks are most suitable. These journals, EndNote is assuming that these are most suitable for my paper's publication. The first journal is Journal of Geophysical Research Atmospheres. Like I said, all these journals are already indexed on the Web of Science core collection. Okay. So these are the journals that you see here. The first one, then here's the second option. You will see the third journal here, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Now, how do we decide which one to choose? Well, for that, we've made things a little more easy for you. We've given you the impact factor, journal impact factor, 3.4. Match score is 0.99. And then there's ranking, etc. also. Here, impact factor was 3.4. What is the impact factor? 5.6 in this case. The third journal, 4.6. Then 5.1. And this one is 3.3, 2.8, 4. So clearly, this particular, the second option, 5.6, this one has the highest impact factor, right? So if you are a person who is looking to submit your paper in a high quality journal, then you should be more focused on impact factor values. And this particular journal, Environmental Research Letters, has the highest impact factor among the 7 options provided, right? If you're a person who believes in match score is basically the probability of, you know, the searchability based on keywords used in your paper, in your title and abstract, right? We run a keyword search, and based on the highest match, we give you the match score. So this is the match score is 0.99 here, this is 0.49, this is 0.39, and so on. If you want match score as a criteria, then this first journal becomes your choice, right? So depending on whatever you're looking for. And then there's another thing. Look at this. The first one, it's a normal journal. The second one, look at this option. It is open access. This symbol is for open access. So the second journal is open access. Even the third is open access. Fourth is also open access. Fifth one, not open access. Sixth, seventh, none of them are, right? So if you're looking for open access options, that is also provided. Within open access, there are 3 journals. Within these 3, which one to choose? Well, if you have 3 journals to choose within open access, then I would recommend choose the one with the highest impact factor. But then again, it depends on what you want. I'm just giving you my choice. You can of course go with whatever you want, right? And you can view the details also from here. Click on view details. These are all the details. So this is, in short, another excellent way of finding a journal, a more comprehensive way, and gives you a lot of details. It also gives you the subject categories. For example, it's along with the ranking. So this particular journal which I had chosen, right, Environmental Research Letters, it gives me the publisher name, it gives me the ISSN details, you get the basic keywords, the top 5 keywords that are used. It also gives me the subject areas in which it publishes papers. So it publishes papers on environmental sciences as well as meteorology and atmospheric sciences. And it gives me the rank in each of these subject categories. For example, in environmental sciences, there are 376 journals that are indexed on Web of Science. Out of these 376, the journal in question, this particular journal, ranks at the 75th position, right? And hence it is a Q1 journal, quartile 1 journal. Similarly, in this other subject area, meteorology and atmospheric sciences, there are 111 journals, out of which this particular journal ranks at the 12th position, again making it a Q1 journal, right? So based on your subject area, if it is a multidisciplinary journal, look for your own subject area and see what rank it falls in. Accordingly, this information helps you in taking an informed decision. Okay, I know that I've discussed a lot because this was a 2-hour session. So I'm going to complete it here and I'll open up for questions. But before I do that, let me tell you that this was a pretty lengthy session, and I know that there could be many questions that you may have and many things that you may realize later. So for your benefit, let me show you some. There's a help available right here. You can go to technical help. You can get to EndNote quick guide, and then EndNote Web option is here. By the way, EndNote Web and EndNote desktop version, they go hand in hand. The EndNote Web is free for you. You can go here and you can create an account. Make sure you use the same user ID and password that you have used for installing the desktop version. And you can, there's a training portal here. Go to the training portal. I'll show you how the training portal looks. See, the only reason I'm trying to show this to you is because there's so much that I've discussed today. Many of the things you may actually forget. So this training portal, this LibGuides, helps you in remembering all of this. What is EndNote, Quick Start, recorded webinars, the webinars that have already happened. The recording is available here. You can view those webinars at any time. Set up your EndNote library, adding references. You can understand all of this, right? There's so many options that you see here. And then EndNote 25, this is EndNote 25, the latest version. How to use EndNote 25 in 3 minutes for Windows. By the way, we support only two options. We support Windows. These are the operating systems, Windows as well as Mac. We do not support Linux. So if you have an Apple machine, you need to go to Mac. If you have a simple Windows machine, go to this, right? So there's a slight difference between these two. Hence, I would want you to go through these videos according to you the operating system on your computer. In my case, I have a Windows machine, so all along I have been discussing this. But if you have an Apple machine, please look at this video also. Yeah, and then see, discover the game-changing features you can't miss, and then desktop and web enhancements. All of these are given here. Besides, we have a YouTube channel. You can go to the YouTube and type anything on EndNote, and you'll get those short videos that we conduct. Please look at the time when that video was uploaded, because we need to make sure that you're looking at the latest one. Don't look at the older videos. Those are basically on previous versions of EndNote. Okay, so with this, I'll open up for questions. Yes, please. Any questions? Questions, anyone? There are 16 people in the session today, including myself. So I'm assuming there are 15 of you from this university. So please feel free to ask questions if you have any. Okay. Looks like there are no questions. In that case, we'll end the session here. See, in the interest of time, I had to stop here, but there are lots of other things that we can discuss about EndNote. It's a very elaborate platform. If I start explaining, I think even one day will not be sufficient for explaining everything on EndNote. I would, in the meanwhile, request all of you have access to EndNote. I would request you to please use EndNote to the maximum. And in case you have any problems, if you face any issue, please reach out to us. We will be more than happy to help you. I've already shown you how to reach out to our technical support team. They will also be able to help you if you have any issues. So with that, I'll end my session here. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending the session. I'm handing it back to you, ma'am, in the
Thank you
library.
so
Yeah,
much, Mr. Sharma, for your session today. We really appreciate it for
thank
your
you.
explanation. So I think we have gained many knowledge from you today. So thank you once again. And if everyone has some question, you can also reach to me at the library, or you can reach us at our email, or even you can reach Mr. Sharma, right, Mr. Sharma?
Absolutely. You can reach out to me also. You can reach out to your library. Miss Thitiporn is there. And you can also reach out to our technical support team. All of us are here to support you. The only thing we want is that you should be using EndNote to the maximum. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you and hope everyone have a good day today.
Thank you and have a good day. Bye bye.